is now streaming. Although it's going to confuse the hell out of you because
Where is it streaming?
YouTube.
Huh. Have you got a link?
Oh, I don't know. Let's have a look. Uh, hang on a sec. Got billing address. There you go. Right, so tell me when you're in. It's probably gonna go.
I see. All my life.
Yeah. Okay, so basically the premise of the mission is, it's World War Three basically, and this particular theatre, this is kind of like the Indian Ocean theatre, and there's a Caribbean theatre and there's a North Atlantic theatre. So there's a
What
series.
the flip? That large of a map?
Oh yeah, it's the whole world. Yeah, so you've got a series of campaigns. This particular campaign is centered around the Red Sea, and I'm trying to get, I'm trying to capture. Basically, I had a naval fleet come out of the Gulf. We duffed up Iran. Now we're trying to get my fleet into the Mediterranean to reinforce the NATO guys that are getting the crap kicked out of them in Northern Europe. It's 1994, so I've got some really cool stuff like HMS Invincible, which is here. So I've got a British task force, actually it's Ark Royal, sorry, trying to get through the Gate of Tears, which is the tip of Aden. Yeah, no, Yemen. The Russians did have this island. Bear in mind, I'm a day in now, so a lot has happened. The Russians completely had control of this island, and were flying quite aggressive anti-shipping missiles, anti-shipping missions from this, including naval and submarines. I've managed to clear that, and the 13th MEU have now. So I've cleared all the mines from the harbour. The 13th MEU, including the Pelliu, which is like an LSD. I don't know if you know the Pelliu, but I'll show you that. There we go.
And how far can you zoom into the items?
You can't see any sort of ship shapes. There's no 3D models or anything like that. It's
Right.
just NATO symbols. So you kind of have to use your imagination a little bit.
Ah, okay.
Although I have seen a professional version of this, and you can zoom, and there's actually a 3D tactical map on that. That's really cool. But only the army have got access to that at the moment. So they use this tool for training as well. This is a real piece of software they actually use for training military, believe it or not, which is quite cool. It's just because of
Oh wow.
just because of the scope of it, and it really accurately models a lot of weapon systems, especially radars and sensors. So if you wanted to plan, I don't know, a refueling mission or something like that, you could do it quite realistically. What's cool about this game is you can also bring up overlays. So we'll go to game map setting. We want view. You can do a custom layers, and I can actually load if I haven't deleted them. I bet I bloody deleted it, which would be really annoying. Ah.
You know, you're saying about a delay. There is a few millisecond delay
Yes, it's a lot annoying.
because when your black lines turn up, you know the black boxes they stay.
Yes, and you can't tell whether I'm still talking or just I've stopped talking.
Oh no, I can tell you just stopped because I muted it.
But what you could do is I'll show you how to do it actually in the game. So you can go to GMap, and what you can do, or not GMap. Is it GMap? I thought it was GMap. Yeah, there we go. This is a nice little app. So you can get live satellite feed, and you can drop it on top of the mission, which is really cool. So you find Socotra, which is the island I happen to be in the middle of doing. So there's the enemy airbase. So it's really useful if you want to try and work out like let's say you've seen a building, you're not quite sure what building you've seen. Is it a surface-to-air missile system or is it a hangar? You can't tell. You just got a radar return basically. You can load up something like this and go, well, actually, let's see what's on the real map. So you can draw a box like that, which covers the airbase, and then you can where is it? Save view. Oh, am I doing this right? Get static, that's what it's called. Make world file. Level 16 is quite high res, but should be okay. Yeah. Close that. Minimize that. Minimize that. And you'll have a funky file. You rename that funky file to PGW. Just bear with me on that. And then I can now insert that view into the game, which is quite cool. There it is. So I can see my airbase. There we go. There's the airbase.
Really? Oh my life.
Yeah. So you can see.
Yeah, blind me, James. I'm watching this. I'm just impressed.
Yeah. So the game doesn't model buildings brilliantly. So it's not like you're going to get a long runway, but there is a runway. That's the main runway. I bombed the shit out of that, so I've destroyed that. You can't destroy runways, just like in real life. You can't destroy a runway. You can just incredibly heavily damage it until it's unusable. So that runway is effectively knocked out completely. If I played the game about a week later in real time, that would be repaired enough that aircraft could take off on it. But in this particular mission scenario, the designer has built a function whereby after 6 hours, my marine engineers have constructed have cleared 900 meters. So there's my 900 meter runway. So that enables me to land drones, Hercules, anything that can land on a tactical runway. I then got a runway access point. That's another way of knocking out an airbase. So if all these are hangars or ammo depots and stuff, I could knock out that access point, and then none of the aircraft could get from a hangar to the runway. So you have to kind of use a little bit of an imagination as to what's going on, but there is some madness behind how it all works. These units are Marines, and they're just defending the airbase. They're a selection of infantry units, some mobile detachments with javelins. I've got some AA in there somewhere as well. I think those are AA. That's they're all carrying a Stinger, that guy. So that's the airbase. So this visualization tool is quite nice because it just brings another layer of immersion into the map.
Oh my life.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
if let's say you're trying to plan a strike on that airbase, it's if it's done properly and the scenario builder has built it well, he will have dropped his hangars on top of the real hangars. If I zoom in, you can see there's a. I mean, the real airport is really small, but you can see there's a hangar there. So he's put hangars where the hangars are. You know, he's tried to simulate where the blocks are. So actually, if you're going to do a strike on that runway with, say, I don't know, a Mirage F1, and you're going to drop Durandal runway busting bombs, you don't want to be coming at it from that direction. You want to be coming at it from that direction, or slightly oblique actually. And you're less likely to have surface-to-air missiles systems along that kind of flight path. So you can sort of be smart about how you attack a runway. Over here, he's used
flipping heck.
Yeah, he's used a bit of creative imagination. He's actually put a naval base there. There is no naval base there in real life, but I didn't know that until I downloaded the map. So anyway, so that's something you can do with the game. It's quite good fun. And what else is on this? So this is my American 13th ME. So I've got some landing ships, LSDs, etc. And these guys all had the Marines on them, which I then subsequently landed. And then they've been busy clearing the map of enemy units. What else is going on? I've got a whole lot of... One of the objectives I've got is to get this fleet, which is a task fleet containing some... basically some oilers and some supply ships. And they set sail from this base up here when the mission started, and they've managed to get themselves down there within a day. I've got to get them in past... I've had to sweep some submarines, do a bit of a submarine sweep to get them down. and I need to get them within that boundary within a certain amount of time, and they need to be in there for a certain amount of hours before the mission finishes for me to get a score.
So did they run at the ships and that run at the speed of what they would run at life? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It would
so
take however long.
that's one of the complicated things, and that's why the game takes so long to play. So, Klaus, what I was explaining was I've been playing this mission now since the 4th of August, and it's now the 15th of August. It just takes so long, and it's one of the reasons I stopped doing videos, because I think that they must be the most boring videos to watch, because sometimes there's so much going on, you have to play it in real time. And this mission is like a 3.5 day mission. So yes, these guys move slowly. So this is considered flank speed, which is 20 knots. So they're doing 20 nautical miles in an hour, which is absolute maxed out. Now, fortunately, you can see these are big beasts. They've got lots of fuel. But this chap here, this frigate, he is getting a little low, because he's probably this chap at the front here, and he's doing a barrier sweep. He's probably going up and down. So he'll be sprinting up to a position, his station, which I've set in the group window. He will then be shutting the power and drifting, and as he's drifting, he's listening for submarines. So it's called sprint and drift, and it's just a technique you can use on a large service vessel to basically attract submarines and then listen for them coming for you. You're acting as a bit of a runner, really.
Why life you have read into this?
Well, no, you just work out what everything does. This guy at the back is another frigate. He is a Perry class frigate. He's a really good anti-submarine ship, and they still use these. Although the Americans are stopping to use. I think there's only a couple left in the American service now, but there's a really, really good ship. The Australians have got a load of these. He's actually excellent. He's got an excellent sonar suite. So he's just doing the same thing, sprinting and drifting. So he's doing 5 knots now as he drifts. And eventually, if you kept on watching him, you'd see him kick his screws into action. He'd speed up to there, stop, and then just slowly drift. There he goes. He's just started speeding up. See that there? And these green lines, these simulate basically lines of confluence. So the way the sonar works, the sounds propagate, and he gets basically peaks in the water where he gets very good reception. So each of these areas here are particularly well monitored, basically. So if a submarine is in there, he's going to hear it. That's what they're simulating.
Okay, James. Good luck and Rev. See ya.
Cheers, guys. Well, there you go.
That is, yeah.
My
you're
service
flying over my head now.
My service to put him to sleep has worked. But yeah, so in answer to your lot of questions, so I know all the other ones. Yes, they go slower. And that's part of the mission. You've got to somehow manage this fleet. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this guy to refuel because he's going to run out. So I'm going to order him to unrep manually, and I'm going to tell him to refuel. He uses diesel fuel, so I need to give him something that carries diesel fuel, oil fuel. So you've got to check the fuels they use, which is interesting. So he can actually only refuel at that ship here.
Oh my life.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they've made such a complicated game.
Yeah, it is complicated, and it is expensive. It costs 60 quid when you sort of buy it at full value, although you can get loads of deals on Steam. But it's just because of the level of detail. I mean, if you go to the database viewer, it's got pretty much everything. Like ships, and it'll have the same ship at different times. So, for instance, let's have a look at something interesting. The Kievs are interesting. So, Kiev, because Kirovs, they're nice because the Kirovs changed. So this is the same ship, but at different times of its life. So the Kirov, this particular Kirov, was called the Admiral Ushakov originally, and then in 1991, I think was 84 was renamed. Is it that one that was renamed? Maybe it wasn't that one then. Yeah, they get renamed. So what's nice is that it will have different versions of the same ship. So if you want to be period correct, another good example is probably easier is the Iowa class. So I'm not going to spell this right, am I? That's what Iowa. I'm not getting this on Missouri now either. There we go, the Iowa class. So the BB-63 obviously was built I think 1944, 1945, and this will have each of the different variants. So in 1987 they brought it back to actually counter the Kirovs actually, because it was the only thing felt strong enough to take the missiles that thing could launch. And then of course they did it again in 1989 for the Gulf War, and then it was upgraded again briefly and served off the Balkans, I think. So each time it has a different sensor suite, it'll have different radar capabilities, it'll have different weapons loadouts, potentially different capabilities with its speed, power plant, etc. And this models it very, very accurately. So you can put together some interesting scenarios. Say what would have happened if like an Iowa class battleship versus a modern Russian anti-surface missile cruiser, which is fascinating to watch. Now this particular database, which is the DB3000, and there's also a Cold War database, which is basically before 1991, and that goes all the way back to the end of World War II. So you can literally have Spitfires fighting against something in the same database. So F-15s, for instance. Well, not F-15s. Yeah, F-15s. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. Yeah. So it kind of this is a complex scenario. They're not normally as detailed as these. So I've had to get a whole load of each of these islands is like a lot of these are French territories, and they all had like a section of Légion d'Estrangers, so they're Foreign Legion guys on it, and I had a whole load of British troops stationed in Kenya, and I've had to fly them. So I've had to get aircraft down to them, configure the aircraft for a cargo loadout, which takes 3 hours. I've then had to load the troops onto the aircraft, which takes half an hour. I then fly it. I've been flying them north. So for instance, we had a whole lot of C-130s that were configured for a parachute drop, and then I've dropped friendly troops on these key strategic islands, which is earning me points. For the longer they're there, I earn some bonus points. So what we got here. So I've set up a little SAM site. So these are French. These will be French like special forces with a Mistral anti-surface to air missile, and these guys are just like they've got a mortar basically, but they basically holding that island, and that gives me some points for this particular scenario. But I had to fly them up there, and then you have to parachute them out. My next mission is to get my I need to sweep this. This has been mined again. I swept it once and I got the Nimitz through in the last mission. I now need to sweep it again. I need to get the Ark Royal through. These are my minesweepers, and they're just waiting. But at the moment I started getting close, these guys just went bonkers, and there's an entire division, I think, or I don't know what's come down. There's an enormous number of enemy troops here.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I
I'm picking up on my long-range radar. I've got like an E8 circling over here, which has a particularly effective ground search radar on it. This is the it's a little bit like an E3 Sentry, but it's got an SL. It's got a side-looking radar instead of a aerial radar, and that guy's particularly good at ground scan. So he's spotted all those enemy units, and I can't really do anything till I can get my carrier close. So I'm just going to hide those because they slow the game down. Actually, I mean, he'll probably spot them again. But
Damn, you're right. It's not a cheap game. 70 quid practically.
Just 17. That was it. It's worth it though. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like I say,
It's not me. It's definitely not me.
no. But you can have a simpler operation. You could just have an operation that was this big. That would just be get this ship from here to here, and shoot some baddies on the way. So it wouldn't be. There you go. We've just seen it's just spotted all these enemies. So it's giving
Cool,
me
got it.
Yeah, it's giving me a
It
bearing.
was just a channel.
Yeah, it's giving me a bearing, and it's giving me a range.
Oh, is that all this down here? It's quite hard to see it because it's quite small.
Yeah, they're tiny. Yeah, so it's just each of those are ground units. It's a combination of tanks. You can see them all moving around. And one of the tasks in this mission is I've got to get some friendly units to here. That's easier said than done. So I'll need to get some artillery or something down here to shoot some of those bad guys, or they're going to get wiped out. I don't have a lot of air force in this, and they're spread out a long way. I've got the Harriers on Ark Royal, which at the moment are configured for air defence, and I've got some aircraft that are flying out of the Thumrait base in Oman. So I've got F-16s. I've got some F-15s, I think, as well. There we go. So that's a refueling aircraft, just escorting those guys back.
Lincoln Egg. It's too much brain power for that.
Yeah, it's a bit mind-blowing at times. So this is another Special Forces unit I've got. And this is a Russian... I think the Russians have hired or leased a naval base from the Eritreans, and I'm going to go and blow it up, basically. Well, I'm going to try. See if there's anything in it, and I'll blow whatever's in it up. There might be some patrol ships or something. So that's a little Special Forces unit that's moving up there slowly through the jungle. What else? Yeah, this is my French protectorate, Djibouti, and I've got quite a big air force base here that's been absolutely rammed full of, because all the shipping aircraft around, I've had to land them somewhere. They've all been landing here, so I've got everything from Mirages to blooming Lynx in here. And these guys are all configured either for recon or for carrying cargo.
Oh my life.
Yeah. So,
Well, SJ.
Have I bored you to death yet?
Oh, my brain's gone overdrive.
Well,
I never thought there was such a game, such complicatedness.
if you ever wanted to know what the chances of discovering a submarine south of Socotra Island were, I can tell you, and we can model it.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. I am going to leave you in peace, though, because I need to get up in the morning to go to a photo shoot.
Ah, wait, what are you shooting?
Christmas. Did Halloween today.
Very good.
It's Christmas tomorrow.
It's like like a sexy Halloween thing where the nurses will wear like no.
No, it's children.
Oh, okay.
So change your mind there.
Clearly not what I was talking about. No. How does that relate
yeah.
to the medical practice? I have interest. I'm trying to get my head around that.
They have to have a first aider there under Ofsted rules.
Right, so you just sort of sit in the background and go, "Hi, I'm here if you fall over and hurt yourself." Right.
Yeah, I get the laptop out, do a load of work.
Oh, well, this is great because this game fits on the laptop. Hint, hint.
Well, yeah, I've got to be a bit careful because I can't do it in front of the clients.
No, true. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. Oh well, if you ever get bored.
I was playing some. I do have a couple of random games, on the laptop, and you're just like, can I hide in the corner enough? Or not sometime. No, I've got quite a lot of medical plans and website rebuilding at the moment. To a new template.
Nice.
Which I've paid a company to do the work for, but they're not doing much of it.
Ah, well, yes.
So yeah.
Can't give you any advice there, I'm afraid.
No. That's right. I'll go back to them tomorrow and say, well, I can't. You told me I could upload this video, but I can't upload this video. So why can't I upload the video? You do it.
Yeah. Not easy.
It's more about the text than everything else, which is the bit I'm doing. Cool. Right, I will leave you in peace.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Have fun with taking over the world.
I will. I'll do my best.
You will get there at some point.
I will get there somehow. Yes, if I can figure out how to do this.
Must take a while though to do all this.
Yeah, it can be a bit brain drain at times. Fine, I'll do this. Go around and do this.
Back to the island again.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab while I'm here. I might as well just grab another screen dump. Except we do this one at a low resolution.
I do find that quite funny that you can actually take a screen jump from a map.
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
And overload it.
Yeah, it's a nice feature that.
Just makes it look a little bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit fun. Yeah, and it gives you a bit more immersion.
Right.
Alright, buddy, take it easy.
Have fun.
I will. See you, mate. So we'll just pop that layer on. There we go. And what's nice about that is you can have like multiple layers. So that's the low resolution layer, and then we'll just re-add the high resolution one again. Oh, wrong one. And there. and it's nice. It'll overlay. So for areas you need a bit more detail, and you can just zoom in, which is quite cool. So what's interesting is I've been getting enemies coming down this hillside, which is why these guys are sort of in a position to engage them quickly. I couldn't actually see what they were coming down in real life, but it looks like there's some sort of riverbed or something there, which is quite interesting. Alright, I've got a whole load of Harriers in here. I'm going to do a strike mission. If I can figure out how to do it, yeah, I think we're going to do... Just going to select an area. I think what we're going to do is bomb this runway here, actually, so scrap that. So there's a mission in here already created for bombing runways, which I did a little while ago. So we're just going to get rid of the ones I've already bombed, and we're going to re-add this airbase. And then we're going to delete the things I don't want to destroy, which is things like parking spots and stuff like that, because it'll take forever getting rid of all those. All we need to do is stop aircraft taking off. So that means bombing runways and any access or taxiable. There we go. See, this is a runway grade taxiway. So sometimes when you see airports, they've got those long, they look like runways, but they're not, they're just taxiways. So we need to bomb both of those because they can be used to take off. And we're going to add I'm just going to check the mission doctrine. No, and it is loadout settings. Fine, that's good. And what we'll do is we'll set we'll just check what aircraft we've got available here. So these are going to take a little while to get ready, actually. So we got some AV8s, Harriers off of the 13th MU carrier, and they're ready to go, but they require buddy illumination. So I will need to send either a Tornado or an F-15 down there as well. I do have an F-15 up somewhere, actually. There it is. So what we're going to do, he was on his way back to base, so we're going to cancel that. We're going to set him to refuel. Somewhere. And he's going to refuel from one of these chaps. These are refueling aircraft over here, but in fact we're going to move their waypoint slightly because they're in the wrong place now. So these markers just define their route point, and they're just like a circular waypoint just to keep them out of the way. And I've engaged these enemy hits, so it's relatively safe flying over these that have already been beaten up. So he's going to get refueled, which is handy, and he can illuminate because he has laser targeting designator. So what we'll do is get those Harriers up in the air. And we're going to set these onto a strike hold mission, which just gets them in the air and somewhere. We won't actually direct them to attack anything to start with. I'm just going to find out where that strike hold is going to send them. So it's going to have them hold here. So we just move that to here. Just in case they have any AA down there, we'll send some. I think I had some sea capable aircraft as well. Hmm. 24 minutes, he's going to be up and ready, so we'll just pop him up as well. And assign him to strike hold as well. So they'll basically go to that waypoint and just circle and wait for me to give them orders. The reason I'm doing that is so I can get them all in the air at the same time. Otherwise it's like a 30-second or a 1-minute launch window for each aircraft, which means when they hit the strike, when the strike package gets to where it needs to destroy, they're coming in one at a time, and that isn't good because it gives the enemy time to react. You kind of want to get them over the enemy airbase as quickly as possible. So I'll get them in the air at one point, get them real close together, and then we'll send them to attack. And what I'll do is I'll pop this chap up here and strike him to strike hold as well, and that way he can just have some fuel up there for them. So I've got a few more sets of aircraft just prepping as well. So we will set up another strike mission later on. So how's my F-15 doing? So he's been up in the air for 3 hours 9 minutes, so he's not going to be terribly happy about being sent back, but he's the only one that can illuminate those targets for those bombers. And then we just wait for the takeoff. I'll just speed up a bit. Right, so those guys are just taken off. And they'll start shipping themselves down to the AO. So that's a returning F-16 who was busy shooting SAM sites. There's the refueler. There's another one coming in to land and refuel. So I'm still trying to get this fleet across here so we can do some damage down here, but when I tried to start taking some of these units out, it didn't go well for me, and these guys started launching strike aircraft from this airbase, which I wasn't expecting, and I nearly lost a whole load of aircraft, so we need to clear them. So this guy is a fully refueled seed aircraft, so we're just going to pop him on the another strike hold mission as well, actually. There is actually a script you can build into the game which models fatigue. So this aircraft has been in the air for 3 hours 51 minutes. I mean, it's probably not going to be that fatigued, but something like this radar plane, he's now been airborne for 5 hours. He's going to start being tired, and some of these ones could be even longer. There's the AWACS could keep refueling itself, for instance. Where is he? Is that him there? No. Well, there you go. That guy's been flying for 10 hours. Where's my AWACS gone? He's been up for 3. Oh, somewhere there's an AWACS. Slightly concerning, I can't tell. There he is. He's been up for a day. He's been refueling himself, so he's knackered. And in theory, you know, you could simulate him basically falling asleep at the wheel. But this particular scenario doesn't have that. As you can see, it can be a bit jerky as it is, with a lot of scripts running in the background. So it looks like I may have finally got rid of the last of the bad guys of this map, which is good. I did actually launch a drone. That's it there. So I'm going to send a drone down there and base him at the island, so that I can try and... Oh, well, that was a mistake. So these guys have 183 miles to the base and a range of 157. Oh, that wasn't very clever. Then we're going to redivert these guys. So we are going to clear the mission, assign a new home base for this fleet here. There we go, and then send them to land, and they will redivert to one of these ships which has a landing pad. Quite lucky we've actually got the room to do that. So they already have some ships on airplanes on board, so what we'll do is we'll just launch those just in case. Sea Knights, Sea King, Seahawks. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign let's assign that Seahawk to an ASW mission, and it can be searching for subs. And that'll keep it out of the way. Possibly do that one too, but I don't know what the range of that one is. So we've got about 87 miles to go, it's a bit of a long way. Seahawk's got nice long legs, they've got a good range, so he'll fly down. And what we could do is actually rebase him. Anyway, we'll put him on the Peleu, which can take loads of helicopters. Actually, we'll put him on the Biddle. So we rebase that chopper on the Biddle, which is basically doing air defence for the group, and that chopper will fly down and do its patrol, and then when it lands it won't fly back up, it will land on the Biddle instead. And that hopefully should give me enough room to get those other choppers in. That's a bit silly, really. I should check their range. So they're still saying they've got a range of not far enough. Bugger. Alright. This is what happens when you don't check. So what we'll do is we'll ferry this guy to Socotra. And we will set him travelling north at flank, and hopefully he'll try and close that distance. He's 94 clicks, nautical miles away, and these guys have a range of 74, so we need to make 20. We need to make 20 knots up, basically. And I'm pretty sure it's good. So this is the Lupo, still heading back to get refueled. There's the Seahawk ferrying to Socotra. What I could do is ferry him to one of the other ships, actually. Looks like the Biddle can take 2. These guys 78. Oh. Right. What it was, I think they were just, as they turned, they'd slowed down. And now they're back up to cruise speed again. It's extended their range. I'll just put this guy somewhere like that, and then he'll get there and turn around. It'll just give them a bit of a margin of error. He'll get to that point and he'll go back into his formation. Alright. So meantime, my F-15 is fully refueled, so we're going to assign him to strike hold. We've already got that seed aircraft down there. So what we could do is create a mini seed mission. If you guys might not know how to do that, so I'll do that for you. So we define an area. We'll put a seed mission here. Call it seed 3. So suppression of enemy air defense is what C stands for. Just going to do a few funky things up here. We are going to cruise. We are going to transit at 36,000 feet. And we're going to set the attack distance to 10 nautical miles. Grab another area and make that the prosecution. So it'll patrol within that box, and then it'll attack anything within that box. So that's now one combined mission area. So we just assign that to the mission. There we go. So it changes its config and its profile. So it turns its ground attack radar on, and it decides it wants to refuel. That's fine, we'll let it do that. It doesn't hurt. We can actually bring those fuelers down, actually. That's the hardest thing with this game, really. It's the logistics. In the real life, you'd have a team of people going, well, hang on a minute, he's going to need to refuel, you need to do this, and you'd think about it before, but you kind of have to wing your way through it. Where's the marker? There it is. Okay. So what I could do actually is just change his refueling configuration. So he'll refuel when he gets to 20% emission fuel. We'll unassign him and then reassign him. There we go. He's back on mission now. So seed missions are quite funny. What you're basically trying to do is you're basically trying to get the enemy to launch at you, and then you can defeat it. This guy's carrying anti-radiation missile. He's only got one actually, anti-radiation missiles. So you'll see the flight profile's strange. They'll sort of basically drive slowly towards the enemy, expecting them to attack them at any minute. It's a bit of a funny one. So strike aircraft coming in. AWACS is going to refuel again. In fact, I've got two of these. I might. I thought I had a second one. Obviously, don't have a second one, so you'll have to stay up. Normally, you'll have a couple and you can rotate them, but it looks like I don't. How are these guys doing? 64 miles range, 40 miles to the base. So we should be okay. Assuming I can land both of them on that base. I'm just gonna move them a bit closer just in case we can't get one of them in, and I could always divert potentially. Rather no sooner than later. So this guy should be refueling now. Oh, there he is. Yeah, so he's refueling. Oh, he's already done. He's obviously yeah, he's already refueled. So the Lupo is full. That's good. Scorpion one. I'm quite sure what he's doing. Oh right, he's on the whole mission. Fine. Yep. Okay. Yeah, fine. He's telling me some weird mission. Weird doctrine allows non-air ground spoken. No, that's interesting. I thought I cleared that. Just had a SAM launch on him. So that's my AWACS. So that red box there is a no-flight zone, and it wasn't big enough. You should have been covering that SAM site. Basically. I did destroy this airbase right at the beginning of the map. It looks like they may well have rebuilt or got themselves repaired, and I'm certain I took these radar defense sites out. Anyway, so this might be interesting. We might be about to lose another AWACS. That would be bad. So he's going to turn, and he'll be dropping chaff to try and avoid these missiles. I think these are SA-2s, so they're not the best. But having said that, he's a 707. Not known for his aerodynamics. Right, the first one missed. The second one hit him. Oh, that is bad. That's very bad. And no ejection either, which is a shame. Well, that sucks. So I've lost my air coverage now. That's a blow. Now this guy has an AEW, which is Airborne Early Warning for the fleet, but it's not that big. You can see the range isn't that great. So losing the E3 was bad. And I definitely don't have any more. Well, that sucks. Stupid me. And I have a rule. I know try not to roll back when people are watching. So So that's an issue, because if these guys launch, I'm not going to see it. Yeah, it's a bit stupid, really. Ah, right, this guy's just had a aircraft launch on him, so he's just launched Edway. The Flying Tigers F5s, so I should be able to take him out. He's on the deck. When they're on the deck, they're incredibly hard to hit, actually. It's quite difficult for the missile to engage them. Yeah, got away again. Right. So what I'm going to do is just redirect that guy after that one. He'll launch his... he's got two Sidewinders, which are a lot better for close range. There goes the first. And the F5 might evade. Okay, it's a hit. But we're modelling aircraft damage in this particular scenario, so they don't... It's not just one hit, one kill, so he could still come back. Yep, and he's launched against me. And in theory, my F-16 should be able to dodge that. There we go. And we'll go for another launch on him. This is where you have to kind of micromanage it a little bit. You're not supposed to, but sometimes you have to. Because the actual individual air dynamic is a bit clunky, as you can tell. It's not as simulated when it comes to like air combat. It's more about the weapon systems and the the sensors, etc. Oh, now he's on a fucking refuel. That's the trouble. He's gone into a refuel mode. So I need to no, do not allow. He didn't think he had enough fuel, so. Let's turn his radar on so you can see him. There he is. I'll catch him up. Go to burn. That wasn't the best time to launch. He launched at a long range and the missile will have run out of fuel by the time it gets there, so it's probably not going to be a good hit. But it looks like this guy's been damaged, so he's coming into land. He's going to try and make a break for it. And the missile, I think, is going to run out of fuel. I've got to be a little bit careful because I'm pretty sure there's some AA down here I'm just about to run into. AAA. Yeah, he's outrun the missile. That was a stupid thing to launch there. He shouldn't have done it. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch him. Just go guns. Oh, no, and the launch as well. It's not good. See if I can get this guy on the hop. I'm on his 6, so... We'll see now. Come on, come on, come on. This break is a bit clunky. You just wanted to AI pilot to go, yep, I did want it to keep going forward. Go, go, go. And this guy could potentially get a missile on him as well. I'm going to slow him down so he doesn't overrun, overshoot. Come on. Right, trying to shoot him. And then we're out of ammunition. And I've got nothing now. So I'm going to have to go low level, afterburner, minimum altitude, and go back to base. Make a run for it basically. Meantime, I'm going to have to get that guy, try and engage him. Turn this guy's radar off. Fucking thing. This is annoying. So I've set this guy to go back to base. Because he's low on fuel. He's had a freaking missile launched him because he didn't do what I told him to do, was to go onto the base and go afterburner. Where the game can be really annoying. So you have to stop, and he's taking a hit now. What a twat. And another one. He might dodge the second one. He's already on the ground. Yep. I kind of know this guy at the launch at him. It would do it automatically, but he's set to launch at closer range, unlike the previous. This guy might run out of missiles. I don't know how many missiles they carry on a... Sidewinders, 4 sidewinders. Or two, yeah, it'd be 4 sidewinders, so this would be the last one. If he can dodge it. And he's gone RTB now. You see that? He's turned around and going back to base. So I might be able to get him on the... Is this guy going to make it back? Base is 500 nautical miles. Yeah, it'll be fine, because he'll climb. It's fine. Although he's out of action now, probably for 10 hours while he gets prepared. I'm kind of annoyed, because if I'd have killed that first one... Bugger. It's going to turn the radar on so he gets a course correction. There we go. Missed. See, this is why I was trying to bomb the runway, because I'm trying to stop these guys taking off, but that has just not worked, clearly. Another one just taken off. This is the early day of the AMRAAM. This is an AMRAAM 120A, and to be honest with you, they weren't that good. A lot better than anything else we had, but they hit. Right. I'm pretty sure he's going to try an RTB now. And looks like this guy could be RTBing as well. get him to ignore the first target because we don't need to kill him. How many guns have we got? Not many. I'll try and get this one instead. I'm just going to set him to hold fire, believe it or not, so we don't launch a missile straight away. Right, that guy's crashed. Alright, just had another launch there. He's going to land. Lost him. And this guy's taken off. Let's get a sidewinder in there. To launch. And another one. This mission is not going to plan. So the idea is you send your seed aircraft in, suppress the SAMs, and then you bring the bombers in. I should have just sent the bombers in. Missed the first one. Here we go, guns. Slow him down. Hit. Slow him right down. Got him. Let's get out of there. Low level again. Yeah, he's launched on me. God damn. Nothing ever goes. I hit that guy. So annoying. I should be able to outrun the missile. I'm hoping he's got no more to launch. Yeah, outrun it. Right. Let's just get this guy back to high altitude cruise, and basically we just leave him here. He's just going to be illuminating because my bombers have arrived. Here they are. Let's just get this strike package nice and tight. What we'll do is we'll add all of those guys to that strike mission when they're down there. I don't tell me there's another one. I think it's the previous one who's landing. Tell me he's just landing. God damn it. I'll send this guy on the guns again, see if we can get him. Got to be a little bit careful because these are surface-to-air missiles and AA, AAA. It could be that that is that same one. He's just circling, coming in for a landing pattern. In which case, I might be able to zap him on the way down. That's AAA. He's at 9,000 feet. My guy's coming in at 12 or 10. Guns. Loiter. Slow him down. Right on him. Come on. He's out of bullets. Fuck. God damn. He's going to overshoot him and he's going to get shot now. Watch this. This is where I need proper pilots. Cruise. Back to height. Let's just set him here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, that guy's coming into land, that's fine. Right. Strike. Let's get all those aircraft and then reassign them to runway strike. Strike. Runway. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And now I need to bloody delete a waypoint because it's stupid. It thinks they're starting from here. I don't know why it does that. It's a bug in the game. RTB mission over. Why? Assign to mission strike runway. No. You. Assign to mission strike runway. Why you not like me? Right, that's better. Okay. This guy's grouped or something. Yeah, that's why. Damn it. That's why. Why is it not letting him do that? Right, they want more space, they're telling me. Because of no navigation zones, they cannot do it. Fine, go for it. Right. Okay, that's correct. That's right. I'm just going to redo it again. Sign to mission strike one way. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, good. Okay, go. Right. So these guys are inbound now. I just need to make that IP, make sure that's the right height. It is AGL. Because that bomb won't launch unless it's 12,000 feet above the ground. This guy should buddy illuminate. He's still up there. 15 pilots busy buzzing him. Look, these guys carry sidewinders. Yeah, they have. So potentially I could get a shot on him, potentially. What I'm going to do... I'm actually going to rebase these guys at Djibouti once they've done their mission, actually. So what I'm going to do is pull that like that. So they just fly straight over the target, which is the safest thing to do, no turning. And like that, there we go. Just going to speed this guy up a little bit, catch him up. You want to try and get him over the target at the same time, so your strike package arrives all at the same time. In theory you should be able to plan this in the game, but you can't. It doesn't let you do it. Not yet anyway. So you have to do a lot of manual jiggery pokery. So I've slowed that one down. I've speeded that one up. It doesn't look like they're trying to launch any more enemies at me, which is good. These guys are carrying GBU Mark 8 MK82s basically, so I don't think they're going to do that much damage, but they might be able to it actually looks like he's only got a few aircraft anyway. So 3 aircraft spotted in that hangar or that position, and 2 in that one. So he had 5 aircraft basically when it was last reconned. So to be honest with you, I think I've damaged 2 of them. And something somewhere has launched, which is always a bit scary. What was launched somewhere? Ah, my special forces. Right. So my special forces were busy trying to get this naval base. It's fine, I can get on with that. So when there's a lot going on, it can be a bit like, whoa, mind fuck. Right. Like they started descending now to their strike height. And we need them at 12,000 feet. 10,000 feet actually. It's fine. 12 will be enough. Actually, we want to keep them at 12. That will keep them above the flak. It's not a bad thing actually. Alright, we'll just put him back manual. And put him back cruise. So they'll probably speed up to attack speed. Attack speed! Once they reach the initial point. The inbound point. So the special forces are busy shooting lands at the hangars. And we'll just zoom in so we can see these bombs drop on this runway. There it is. So what we could do to be a bit sneaky is just pop that up. Cancel that. Let's go have a look at where it was. We'll grab, is it Aden? It is Aden. If you know the coordinates, it can make it a lot quicker. I'm not sure I do. I think it's there. It's a bit clunky sometimes. So there it is. There's the airbase. So it's nice to see it does actually exist. So what we'll do is we'll grab a nice screen dump of that. We'll output that at a resolution of 16. There it is. Just edit that file. For some reason you have to rename it. I have no idea why, but you do. Yeah. And then we'll bring that in the game. Choose the map. There we go. So there it is. So you see he's nicely taking the time to, I mean that's really good. It takes, you imagine how long that takes. He's sat there, he's actually probably done exactly the same as I've done, and these will be parking spots. There we go, parking spots for aircraft. And what we got here, large terminal building, control tower. Those will be parking spots, that's probably a hangar. There we go, large hangar. These will all be parking spots. So those aircraft, it looks like the F5s were parked on the access points waiting to take off, or damaged. If you remember right, they're probably on fire, frankly, because I've hit them. So we're trying to drop bombs on this bit, which is the taxiway, and the runway, which is, I think it's access point, access point, access point, access point. Those must be ammo dumps. We'll find out. Right. So hit play. So we just spotted it. We just reconned an aircraft there. I don't know if you saw that spot up. So it spotted one small aircraft. So there are more in there. So it is good that we are trying to do this. Right. Now, are we at the right heights? Have the suns aligned? We have a laze off the F-15, which is a circling at 36,000 feet, and we have a drop of a bomb. Why have we not dropped the other ones? Pause the game. This is where you think, okay, why haven't you launched? To allocated. One fired. Why is it not dropping? Ah, because he can only laze one bomb at a time. That's annoying. It doesn't seem very realistic either. So they're just going to circle around, which is a bit stupid. I'm pretty sure that's unrealistic. Pretty sure there you go, this guy's just dropped a bomb from right on top of it. I wonder if that, another one. So it is possible, because there's two just been launched there. Sir, we've captured the old Soviet submarine base at Dalek Island. Air and naval facilities here are old, but our engineers should be able to turn it to first rate base. Dalek Island? Where the fuck is that? I wonder if that's that island my special forces guys were doing. In which case, that's freaking awesome. I wasn't expecting that. Dalek Island. It is there. It's just off the coast of Eritrea. So there is that one. Right, so I've captured that now. That's pretty cool. It's a shame I've got nothing up there. I did have a British destroyer, but it got shot. I wasn't going to admit to that, but it's true. Alright, meanwhile, back at the base. So he hasn't quite got the runway in exactly the right place, but it might just be that my map is slightly misaligned. So you can see NMK82 doesn't do that much damage on a runway. No surprise. Another one gone in. I think that's the last of them. It will do it some damage. It will slow it down somewhat. In hindsight, I might have been better just bombing these access points in that hangar, and it probably would have done the same job, but I do want to kind of destroy these access points for them. I think that's it for these guys. They are now going back home. So I just need to reassign them. So he can... Have they all dropped their bombs? No, he's still got one. Right, so what I'm going to do is do it cheeky and just manually target that hangar. he's still got one too. Just going to unassign him. Manually target that. Bombs away. This guy's still got 2. I didn't realise that. Idiot. Right. Must have been carrying 4. Just cancel that. We might actually be able to destroy these aircraft on the ground, which would be pretty cool. Well, I hit it. I don't know if I did any damage. Because I put a hole in the runway, that's the least, I suppose. Right, this guy's just launched on the hangar. And he's now out bombs. That's still got 2 left. And he's out bombs. Got an aeroplane. That's nice. So I obviously punched a hole through that hangar and blew the aeroplane up underneath it. That's pretty cool. Right, this little puppy. In fact, all these guys. Put them in a Djibouti. And same with those. New home base, Djibouti. And return to base. What I can do is actually put a waypoint there, otherwise they're going to follow those old waypoints. Sending back to thumb rate. Turn his radar off now. It's a shame I don't have a bit of a longer range on that guy. I might be able to engage some of these enemies. But the Navy are coming. I've actually got a sub in there as well. Oh, now the tornado comes down. Yeah, great. Oh, those last 2 GBUs failed. Bit of a shame. Sometimes you do get a malfunction. Just check on that, it's fine. Those choppers land okay. 2 Hueys, there we go, lovely. And I'll ferry these guys to... see if there's any cargo for them. No. Oh, that window, it doesn't disappear unfortunately as you kill it. I'll just ferry these guys to Socotra. Once they're refueled, they'll take about 20-30 minutes to refuel and they'll fly on the rest of the way. Meanwhile he can come back now. At that stage I want him to go back to sprint and drift, and he'll just go back to doing the job he was doing. So what I might do is send this guy north, actually, see if I can engage. I'm going to assign him to that Seed 3 mission. Oh, scheisse. Oh, fuck off. Seed 3. And then I'm just going to move the markers and see if we can engage that SAM site that took out my AWACS, because that was very uncool. So you use these markers to define the boundaries for your missions. Basically they're a bit clunky, but they work. So I want him to patrol within that area, and I want him to engage anything within this area. If I can get it to work, there we go, got the last one. The annoying thing is that other red mark up there is a no-fly zone, and they're impossible to tell apart. So basically this is in theory is a navigation free zone up there, whereas this is actually a prosecution zone. So he'll start descending now to about 12,000 feet, and he's got the alarm, which is a superb anti-radiation missile we no longer have access to because we got rid of it all, which is a bit stupid. There you go, a little known fact. So the Royal Air Force has no anti-radiation missile capability anymore. So we have to rely 100% on the Americans to do that for us. Which, if you think about the threats we're facing, is pretty stupid, really. There's my new base. It's gone orange, which I guess means it's mine now. That's quite cool. I'm feeling quite glad I parachute those guys in there now. Let's put them in there for defence. So what we got going on here then? So areas are landing and landing. And landing. That sounds like somebody's attacking something. Oh shit. Right. So these units are set to attack anything, and they've interpreted this base as being unfriendly, and therefore they are attacking it now, which is really annoying because clearly it belongs to me now. Dick. This is one of those really annoying things about the game. So if I set those to friendly, it would then unset itself and decide it was back to alright, they'll drop contact. There we go, they'll stop shooting now. That is really annoying when it does that. And I've managed to set fire to my own base now, which is just brilliant. It's dumb stuff like that that's really annoying in this game. So that's a mission area. What you should have done was set that, rather than being unfriendly, set it to orange. He should have set it to green, and then I wouldn't have perceived it as an enemy, and I wouldn't have attacked it. It's all a bit binary. It's either yes or no, and if it shouldn't be that binary sometimes. Bit annoying. Where did my tornado go? There he is. Right. So presuming this guy has some missiles left, I'm guessing he's going to try and engage this tornado, who is flying ridiculously low. So what we'll do is, I could just let him engage manually and he will launch, I believe, one rocket. It should do anyway. One round. Yeah, what we'll do is we shoot 2 rounds at him. Because we might only get 1 shot. So the range of the alarm is pretty good actually. He's got like a 40-mile range. But these guys probably can't see him because they have no radar, because I've destroyed all those. So it won't. It'll be a vision. It'll be an optical sight that spots him or something like that later on as he gets closer. Assuming they can see him over the hills. They've got a particularly nice version of one of these Pink Panther Tonkers at the Royal Air Force Museum, just behind the one of the hangars in Hendon, and it does look awesome in the fresh. It's such a cool colour scheme. Right, he's within range of the SAM now. In theory, the SAM should be. You can actually set it so we can see him. Contact emissions. Yeah. We'll see it light up if he starts emitting. So the alarm radar can't do anything until it gets a signal. In real life, I think you can fire it and it will hover, but I don't think they've modelled that in this game. It'll sort of float on a parachute in real life and wait till the radar switches on and then they'll engage it, but I'm pretty sure they haven't modelled that. And surprise, surprise, he's not engaging. So the tornado is literally on top of him now. And engaging him with cannon fire, which was not my intention. It did hit him though. That wasn't... Yeah. That was not what he was supposed to do. So if I look at the mission doctrine, it was probably set to cannon fire. Yeah, it was. So that's a bit risky. You don't really want your aircraft coming in on, because they could be surrounded by AAA and then you'd be fucked. Anyway, it's done it now. So what we'll do is we'll just turn it off again actually. Right, he's launched. Let's just turn the cannon off. It's difficult. I turned around and then he launches. No. Come out of that. Resume. So fortunately he's nice and low, so we should be able to dodge that missile fire. He says. It's whether I can turn to get a lock on him myself, because I'm real close. He needs to get a bit of distance first. Another launch. Ooh. Ooh. And I'm on the deck. I can't really turn. Because he's trying to evade the missiles, he won't turn. I could, as soon as these 2 cycles off, I'm going to turn this evasion off and see if I can get a lock on. Dodgy missiles, it's not cool.
I'm back.
Hello, alright mate, I'm streaming by the way, just to let you know.
Okay.
Although I can stop. 2 secs. Let's just
No, it's fine. I'll keep quiet until you finish.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing a bit of CMANO. And somebody said, would I stream it? So I started streaming it, and then they left. Oh, I dodged the first missile. Oh. malfunctioned. For fuck's sake. Right, we're about to fly right over the AA now. I'll just kill this SAM site and then I'll finish the stream. I'll save it where I am. If he's broadcasting. Like he might not be. After all that. So what you'd normally do, you'd have a pair of aircraft. Or one aircraft trying to stimulate a launch and the other aircraft ready to strike. And we only got one, which was a bit stupid. I could do stop and get somebody close. Oh well, we'll save that for another day. Right.